sent us back with another tiling tip for use from North Tech Stone and Ceramic. In the last video we talked about clips and wedges, ways to, these videos are all about trying to make the job easier for the installer or the do-it-yourselfer. And one item that I found really helped me a lot, and I know it's helped a lot of people out there, is the use of a laser. In the past, lasers were the type of thing that were very expensive and were used by big contractors or people who could afford buying a laser and using it on larger projects. The prices of lasers have now come down a lot, and a do-it-yourselfer can now afford one, a smaller contractor can afford one, and there's no reason why any of yous should not be able to find one that's appropriate for your needs. When it comes to tile, the floor you're looking at right here, I used this laser to install everything, to lay my squares down, to line everything up, and it made life super easy for me. And I'll show you why. So when you're doing a square, normally, you're taking measurements from different walls and you're squaring things off, drawing lines. A lot of times you're snapping chalk lines down or drawing lines on the floor in order to make sure that you're starting square so that you're not off in any way. And what that does is, as you're progressing with laying the tile, it keeps everything nice and straight, keeps the joints nice and straight, and ensures that you're not going off track in any way. So when you're doing that, a lot of times there can be human error involved where perhaps you didn't measure correctly or whatever, or you just made a little mistake. We do it every day. So the laser really helps to avoid that situation. And this particular laser that we purchased is quite useful in that it'll project lines on the floor that you can adjust, so you can actually take this and you can turn it, okay, and adjust it, and you can see the line moving on the floor, for example. I'll show you what else it does, but you see the line here turning on the floor, okay. So what you can do is you can adjust that line, then take some measurements to make sure that line is straight and square. And you will also notice that it will project up the walls, actually around the whole room, including if you wanted to do a ceiling. It saves a huge amount of time. And where this helps is, for example, let's say you want to lay tile on a floor. And let's say you're laying, let me just grab something here to show you. I'll just grab a 12 by 24. So let's say you're laying a 12 by 24, okay? This tile here. Well, there's your laser line, right? So let's say you bring that to your laser line, okay? And let's say you want to project, or you want to carry your grout lines in the same position up the wall. Well, basically, if you follow that laser line with your tile, you can project the tile right up the wall following the same joint. So this way your joints can line up floor to wall, which makes for a nice job if that's what you want to do. It worked very, very well for me in that I had several different sizes of tile that I was working with. And the laser line, when I laid it, and I'll show you in a moment here, maybe we'll stop the video and I'll progress to the next part to show you how I was able to line up different formats of tile so the grout joint would line up. So in the first part, we talked about some of the different features that the laser level will provide you with. Here I wanted to show you how I actually used it to lay this floor in our showroom. And where it was really useful was that I was working with different formats of tile on the floor, and they're obviously different sizes and whatnot. So I wanted to try and lay it out where I could get as much of the tile to line up as possible. Okay, even though they were different formats, maybe a multiple of one would line up with one of the others, and so on. So I was able to use the laser level. And if you notice here, I have the square line right here, right by the laser. And if you follow this line, it will project. So here I have a larger format tile, and here I have a 12 by 24 where two of them I was able to make line up with one of the larger ones. And I was able to continue that joint nice and straight across the room, which was nice. You know, it makes for a nice, cleaner job. Okay. Another thing that is neat about the laser level is it has an automatic leveling feature. This one does anyway. And what that means is if it's not level, the laser will emit a beeping noise. And once the beeping noise stops, the laser has leveled itself. So that's a very useful thing. And you can adjust it also. If it's way off, you can adjust this. I got a stand with this one. You can buy the stand. I highly recommend it. The stand is adjustable in this direction, and it's adjustable also up and down, so you can set it for various heights in different rooms. You can also, so if I shake this right now, you will hear it go at a level. Now it's re-leveled itself. I'll do that again. It levels itself automatically. So that's a great feature. Lastly, I just want to mention, if you're in the market to buy one of these things, you know, some of you might say, well, I'm just doing a little bit of tiling, or I'm just tiling my home. What do I need to spend the money on a laser for? Well, number one, it's going to give you a real pro layout on your floors or on your walls, and it's going to make it nice, square, and straight. Number two, if you're doing a home, you're probably going to have tile in a variety of rooms, bathrooms, entrance, kitchen. And in that case, on the one job, the laser level will pay for itself. In lack of aggravation, it will make the job so nice and clean that it is worthwhile getting. Obviously, for a contractor, it's definitely worthwhile if you're going to use it on multiple jobs. Now, as far as pricing goes, this one here was around $350. It wasn't the cheapest version. It wasn't the most expensive version, but it provided a good view on a line that you could see projected over a long distance. Some of the cheaper ones will not do that. They'll only project a line for a small distance. You want it to be projected in a long distance. It not only did that, but it projects lines on the floor. It will project lines 360. So it will project lines up a wall, and it will project lines on a ceiling. So this way, no matter what job you're doing, floor, wall, ceiling, you can square the area off really easy. So again, my advice is you're probably going to want to spend around $250 and up on a laser level to get one that's going to fit all your needs and that you can use for many projects down the road without being stuck. So basically that's it for laser levels. I highly recommend them. Do some homework on them. Make sure it'll do all of the things we talked about, and your tile job will turn out that much better. Thanks a lot.